Well, for most kids, school doesn't start for a couple of weeks, but practice for our fall sports is underway right now.
Here's a question. Is it better for kids to focus on one sport, or is it better to try out for 2 or maybe 3 sports? Dave Knight is an athletic trainer at the UW Health Sports Rehab Clinic. Nice to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to Live at 5. So in order to be a great athlete, do you think kids need to specialize early in one sport?
It really depends on the sport. But overall, absolutely not. I think there are a lot of examples where great athletes didn't specialize. And I think the one that comes to mind always for me is Wayne Gretzky. He tells a story about how his parents made him put his hockey gear away and play baseball in the summer. And it made him a more well-rounded athlete. So there are certainly cases of the one sport athlete, that's all they played, but there are more cases of that individual who burns out earlier and who doesn't succeed and finds themselves in a tough situation than there are of those that put away the skates or put away the tennis racket for another sport.
You mentioned burnout. Is there, I don't know, is there anything wrong with focusing on one sport if that's the way you choose to go?
Well, from an injury standpoint, there are some things that we know are wrong. So if you play baseball all year long, the chance of you having an elbow or shoulder problem are certainly significantly greater. And that's been proven through having more young kids having the Tommy John surgeries in their elbows from being a baseball player all year long. So, but even long term, playing one sport all the time creates an asymmetry in your body. So if all you ever did was golf, all you do is rotate one direction and you don't build that symmetry that your body needs. And then when you are done with golf or you're moving on to something else, your body has this this asymmetry that it has to fight, and it can lead to injuries down the road.
Now, you work with young kids. We saw some video of you recently putting some young kids through their paces.
Yeah, so what we try to do with our youngest kids is just teach them fundamental movement skills. So it's kind of it's a way to teach athleticism, but in a very games-based manner. So we're trying to teach kids how to run, jump, twist, turn, catch, throw, balance, and build all those skills. And yeah, so that's a rolling and throwing rubber chickens and these tail balls and learning how to have hand-eye coordination and catch. And so there's a lot of different skills that go into being athletic or that go into teaching a kid those fundamental skills. And I think getting to them early is really important because then that's something they can carry with them for a long time.
How early is too early to get kids moving? I mean, is there an age where you say, okay, you're 3, you're 4, you're 5, we need to get you into X, Y, and Z?
Yeah, good question. And it all really depends on what kind of movement you're talking about, right? Very specialized movement certainly is something that you have to hone that skill later. But any kind of movement is happening as early as you start to crawl. That's when we're starting to develop those oppositional movement patterns that really lead us to be able to walk. And so depending on where you're talking about movement, it happens very, very young.
Well, and it's interesting because you see someone like Tiger Woods who did nothing but golf from the time, and Serena Williams, Venus Williams. But then I saw recently Jordan Spieth's mother, the Masters champion, talking about how Jordan played everything imaginable. And she feels very strongly that that's the way to go.
I absolutely agree. And I think because we see those success stories of those one sport stars and we think that's how it should be, but the thing we don't see are the unfortunate failures of the one sport stars that didn't make it because they burnt out physically or mentally or because they just didn't succeed, and then what happens to them now that they have nothing to fall back on. But when you learn these fundamental skills, you can really fall back on something and enjoy activity as an adult in any activity that you want.
Wow. Very interesting.
Yeah,
it's a really interesting topic, and a lot of parents in our newsroom have been talking about it.
And it's underway.
As well.
Fall sports are here. Dave, thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Nice to see you.
Thanks.